dancing. Hello, interwebs. 'Tis I, ready to review some comical books. This is F3G2. I am Sebastian Petroni. You cannot see Big Sexy Dave, but he's there. Trust me, ever present, like the Force, only sexier.
And hungrier.
Usually. It's like the Hulk is. I'm always angry. I'm gonna get Big Sexy Dave a shirt that says, "That's my secret. I'm always hungry," and it's just as scary. And it still ends with, where did all the big space dragons go? And instead of the Hulk sweating like this, it's just Big Sexy Dave going, "Did you guys want some?"
There's usually crying and a little bloodshed too.
He's just got a giant nutcracker and is getting the armor off the side like they're crab shells. And it's still up for shawarma afterwards. Oh man,
Shawarma's tasty.
you guys don't know this unless you're really nuts and have watched through this show's various incarnations on various websites. But we did, and after the first Avengers came out, we did a special episode after hours at the end of the episode,
I think it was for the 100th episode.
we had, at the end of our 100th episode, we did like a post-credit scene, and it was me, Dave, Sean, Jared, Rick, and my wife all sitting around like the Avengers eating. We went out and got we bought actual shawarma. We couldn't even just fake it. It was really just an excuse to get shawarma. All right, let me review some bookable things. First up is Harley Quinn, Power Girl #2. Written by the husband-wife team of Amanda Cotter, Jimmy Palmiotti, and their BFF, Perma Third Wheel, Justin Gray. They're really all one just entity. It's like Ghidra, the three-headed dragon. Only it's like this creative force of Gray, Palmiotti, and Connor.
Instead of destruction.
Well, it's still destruction and mass chaos, but artfully done, and that's important. Stefan Rao does the art for most of the book, but sweeping in at the end, you have Elliot Fernandez on pages 19 to 22. So that's important to know because I sort of know Elliot. Elliot is a friend of a friend. He's my friend Neil's actual buddy, whom I've met. We, in the Florida world, there are only X amount of Florida cons. So so we know each other in passing, and we're Facebook friends, and we say hi at like every MegaCon and and occasionally at TampaCon.
Last night proved how small a world it really is.
It's last world. Yeah, you're gonna get into it too much to explain. But yeah, last night we continued to find out that somehow I've literally taught everyone. Who knew? Nothing useful that I've taught them. Anywho, this book is fun and funny, and it's not a lot of books can do both successfully. But like I said, that writing team works. They work so well. Forget the Ghidra. We're gonna go like the Stygian witches share an eyeball. These are three heads that just share a brain, and just you can almost picture them saying the sentences out. Where it starts over here, like, and it's like, I was thinking we could just and and they finish each other's sentences. So, and it's got it's got Zartox, Vartox, who's like a throwback. They've used him before in their Power Girl run. He's a throwback to the Silver Age, but really he's just like a...
Was he one of the news anchors?
No, he's DC's sort of blatant rip-off of Sean Connery's character from Zardoz.
Oh, I meant like in the back when they were doing the
yes.
ambush bug and everything.
When the New 52, they used to use him. They used to use Zartox on Channel 52. Vartox was on Channel 52's Yeah, he was one of their news anchors for the backup stuff in the end of the book. But this is so much fun, and it's gorgeous times two, because Stefan is just awesome, and boom, it's just so, it is so good to see Elliot Fernandez getting his due, because he's good. Boy's good. Cyborg, number 1. It's really, really good. Which, I like Cyborg more. I'm a fan of, original pre-New 52 Cyborg. But this has got a very, very human touch. The angle that you want for somebody like Cyborg is to really put the emphasis on the org part, not so much the cyb. And they really do. It's we get all, we're saying Zardoz, let's get Wizard of Oz. It's very, this Tin Man really has a heart. I don't know who David F. Walker is as the writer, but he's Jeff Johns worthy on. He just wraps you in instantly. You like the people you're supposed to like. You don't like the people you're not supposed to, and all for the right reasons. And then, of course, Ivan Rice and Joe Prado on art. What's not to love there? Basically, the story is there's some changes are going on for Vic Stone ever since he died, and apparently reboots himself, and they're not sure what's up with that tech. Meanwhile, some sentient tech is now aware of Cyborg, and that bodes not well.
Yeah, that went over so well last time.
Uncanny X-Men, number 35. Was just really, really good. The team post Cyclops, the team of X-Men that he's been training at in the abandoned Weapon X, go forth, and they do a pretty good job of becoming heroes. Goldballs becomes an overnight internet sensation and ends up on doing all the talk shows and is super popular. But no one realized, they just thought they were superheroes. They didn't realize, since they're not calling themselves the X-Men, they're actually calling themselves the Hero Squad. They even fight the Grey Gargoyle. But
nobody knew they were mutants.
And the Mole Man. No one realized they were mutants until in an interview, his parents say, when we found out he was a mutant, we were scared. They're like, wait, your son's a mutant? And they're like,
Yeah.
And then boom, and I'm still not 100% certain. There's a page, the second to last page makes it look like one of our team dies, but then he's standing there covered in blood on the last page, so I'm assuming that the team's healer was able to, do better than all the king's horses and all the king's men, and put our fallen hero together again. So I believe Triage was able to pull that off. But they realized the world's not ready for them, and they're not ready for being heroes, so they go and sign up at the Jean Grey School and say, Storm, can we stay here? The world didn't like us.
Damn mutants.
Archie vs. Predator. This cover. Can't believe he took Veronica over me. It's like I'm invisible. And she's covered in mud. And that makes me laugh. And then Archie vs. Sharknado. Because Sharknado 3 was just on. And your Jughead takes a bite out of sharks. This was a very silly fun. This I've discussed with the previous 3 issues. This is the final issue of this. I've discussed that the creepiest thing really is to see blood and death rendered in that Archie style. Also, thanks to the Archie style, you have things like the Predator makes facial expressions. I didn't know that was possible. He's very confused. But this proves that really Veronica is actually... Veronica and Betty get a little badass, and then we find out that Betty is creepier than the predators. There's some weird shit at the end of this that will make you go, I worry about Betty, and I feel for that predator. I really do. It's just weird. It's not anything you'd expect. Battleworld, Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde #1 is good. Star-Lord is depressed. He's from the real world, and he's now one of the ones that survived on that ark and is in Doom's world, but remembers the way the old world was. He joins a band that consists of a pompadour, music-loving Drax.
Oh, Lord.
There is a... He's got a werewolf on bass, like an actual bass. You know, they're very swing style. Strong guy, you know, Guido, the strong guy, is on drums.
Of course.
And with green hair, I'm gonna go with that's Polaris on guitar, and he sings like Disney themes. He sings Disney songs. He starts out singing "Party of World." Later, he's singing like I don't even remember. But then into the, you know, Kitty walks in, but it's not his Kitty. This is that world's Kitty, and she's like this like space bounty hunter who works for Gambit the Collector.
Lord.
And he sees Kitty while he's in the middle of singing what used to be their song, which is "Once Upon a Dream." Because I guess if Disney owns Marvel, it's just easier to sing songs that you have no. You don't have to go through hoops to get copyright. The art is good on this. The story is great, and our boy bites off more than he can chew with a alternate Kitty that he wasn't quite ready for. Spider-Woman #9. Dennis Hopeless is awesome. So I keep reading this and loving it. I don't know if he's writing the new series where she's going to be a single mom, but if he is, I'm on board because he does so great with this. I love the ineptitude of Porcupine. Solid art, great stuff. I think I like Spider-Woman better now than I ever have, and I had the whole original run of like back when I was a little. She was tied into Spider-Man, so any book that crossed over with Spider-Man, I had to have all of it, which. Ultimately, Marvel teamed him up with everything. Hell, they did, they had his book, Marvel Team Up. So I kept meeting all these new characters and going, ooh, I'll want to read more about those. And then I would buy Spider-Man issues. And then the next thing you know, I was reading X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spider-Woman. So, I'm a sucker. Fight Club 2. If you love Chuck Palahniuk, you'll love this. I found it better than fair. And I'm not always the biggest Chuck Palahniuk fan because I find that basically all of his books are 98% the same. And this gets a whole generation of people to throw shoes at me. Teen Titans. I really want to like these characters again. Can someone please let me? Justice League 3001. We're on like a third issue streak. This is #2, but counting from Justice League 3000, we're on like a third issue streak of no Beetle and Booster. And I'm still loving it. Supergirl shows up, actual Supergirl, in this Lost Time. There's some weird backups that they decide they're never going to do again with fourth wall breaking explanations. The first one is provided by Ariel Masters, who is actually evil Lois Lane. And the second one is provided by a weird kind of portly version, future version of Max Lord, who informs you, and just to be clear, I'm not the psycho Maxwell Lord who put a bullet through Blue Beetle's head. I'm the sweet and lovable Max of the zany glory days of the Justice League International. He kind of explodes in the vacuum of space at the end. But, you know, what are you going to do?
You're there for a minute.
I love this book. Everybody should read this book. You don't need to know shit about any continuity. You just read it. There's a great... They take on the Starros and end up actually talking to them. They negotiate with the Starros. And no one's ever tried that before. We are Robin. I like this book. This is a very literal and figurative street level look at Robins. Someone is putting them together. We meet the guy, but he's clearly disguised. I don't know. Some part of me wants him to be like Alfred under all that, but for all I know, he could, you know, to look at him, he could be anyone from Alfred in disguise to Commissioner Gordon in disguise to Dr. Hugo Strange in not so much of a disguise. I don't know who he is, but he's going together and just assembling these kids. And he sends them messages from the nest, and they become Robins. And it's like a recruitment to like a street level. They're not like a positive gang. What's the right way to put it? They're almost like a lot of places have. New York City has the what are they called? The Guardian Angels group. That, you know, kind of like a. Well, this obviously is a little higher on the. Is a lot higher on the vigilantism, but you know, the Guardian Angels are like a more progressive neighborhood watch kind of group, and these guys are, you know, like that same level of, but with Robins. The Blacklist #1 was so good. I love the show, which meant that I could have gone either way on this. I don't know who Nicole Phillips is. And I don't know who Benny Lobel is, but Benny draws.
Betty Boot?
Yeah, he draws really well, and the characters that look like they're supposed to, they are them. It's just gorgeous. And what's more important is Nicole Phillips writes not just the characters well, but specifically Red. I hear it in his voice. When you first get to him, which is on page 3, he is in the middle of one of his Red Reddington little anecdotes, and it reads perfectly. You know, you cut into him in the middle. He's just sitting there, you know, her grapes were these perfect aqueous spheres. They glistened in the sun, tasted like summer. I couldn't resist. I stole a handful every morning. Mrs. Wolkowitz chasing after me. Come back here, you criminal. I love those grapes. But see, it sounds like Red.
It does.
And it's perfect. There are other moments when he's talking to, you know, to Lizzie, and you just hear it. Everybody's in character. Everybody looks the part, sounds the part, acts the part.
So is this like an in-between or retelling? What?
This is just them working on other stuff, and, you know, and look at that face. So good. Sinestro number 13 is an unlucky number. It's unlucky for the Green Lanterns because they all go bye-bye. This part crosses over with Green Lantern's army, Lost Army. Also, apparently he takes some chances. On the grand, I would never want to play chess or poker against Sinestro.
No.
More so chess, because, well, there's two very good reasons. One is he clearly thinks not just the, you know, 2 to 12 moves ahead of everybody. He thinks like he's thinking 3 games ahead of everybody else. But also, as his daughter puts it, everything is like a long game to him. But when he doesn't like the game, or feels like it's not going his way, he shakes the whole board off and starts over. All right, so good, so well done. Cullen Bunn just writing the hell out of Sinestro. It's just fun to watch his machinations. Speaking of Cullen Bunn writing villains who machinate, oh look, it's Magneto, who's determined to go out with a bang. And really, it makes sense. You know, Magneto is this thought in absolutes. You know, sometimes villain, sometimes hero, really depending on which side of him you were standing on. And he finds out the world's ending. And he's got one last shot to try and he's like, you know, they ask him, you know, people ask him, don't you want like the world's going to end, do you have to keep fighting, don't you want a moment's peace? He's like, no, I never wanted peace. I wanted, you know, my version of just, and he's just out there, and it's so good, so good. Read that. Loki. This
Agent of Asgard?
Yeah, Loki, Agent of Asgard, number 16. Al Ewing, one of my favorite writers of the moment. Yeah, Loki is not so much God of lies anymore, so much God of, you know, he's the storyteller and actually gets them outside of the universe before the entropy happens and everything's gone. So Loki, such a master player that but even admits at the end, yeah, I'm not sure what goes from here. So, oops. Insufferable, number 3. This is Mark Waid's Insufferable. Worthy heir to, you know, Irredeemable and Incorruptible. Now you've got Insufferable. Father and son hero team of Nocturnus and Galahad. Galahad is insufferable. He's a dick, but there's reasons behind it, and it's not always as good. And you get into, and that's what Mark Waid does best. Is he takes, you know, here's some typical comic book ideas, and I'm going to add the ideas are already there. You've seen the ideas done. Comic book ideas have been done to death, but I'm going to add layers and layers and layers to them and make them substantial. And it's so good. Read those. Read those. Hellbreak. More Cullen Bunn. Why the hell not? Cullen Bunn just writes everything. This is the team of people who go into hell to steal back the souls, especially from people if you're possessed while the demon is in you, your soul is somewhere now. But things get really complicated this issue. There's the question of what happens to your soul if you die in hell. Our team suffers some losses, but as with just about anything worth reading, and especially anything worth reading by Cullen Bunn, there is more going on, and we've scratched the surface, but we haven't seen it all yet. Check it out, really good stuff. Grayson, number 10. Dick and Lex get together. It's the first time they've seen each other since Lex killed Dick.
Oops.
It goes like you'd think, and Tim Seeley is writing the hell out of this. It is, I think he's only half writing, right? It's Tim Seeley's the writer, and the plot is Tim Seeley and Tom King, and art by Michael Janine and Jeremy Cox. Gorgeous to look at. So good. So much. It's really like James Bondian level espionage, intrigue going on. It's good. I mean, do I miss Nightwing? Yes. Would I cry? Would I miss this book just as much if he put back on the Nightwing costume and stopped all of this?
Yes.
Yes. So,
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
No matter what happens, I'm gonna lose somehow. Damn you, DC. Why you gotta be such a dick? See what I did there? Hawkeye, really, really good. Hawkeye, number 4. Not everybody. This book, for some reason, everyone I've spoken to about it is polarized. It's all about it. Yeah, I love the new Hawkeye. Oh, no, I hate the new Hawkeye. Give me back the old Hawkeye. But this issue, very interesting style choices. The top half is all painted and monochromatic and washed as it's flashbacks and memories. The bottom part is always just a strip along the bottom of what's going on now.
Ooh, neat.
And it's really, really good. It was very different and just, but very easy to follow. That was good. Future Imperfect. It is the future, and it is very imperfect. Our team now finds out. They rush in to save their leader, the Thaddeus Ross, who is not a Red Hulk in this, but a mushy-looking Ben Grimm, a mushy-looking thing, original Silver Age-looking thing. And they rush in to save him, only to find out that he's actually talking things out with the Maestro. And really, when you're left with the choice of, do we try and overthrow Doom? That sounds like a good thing. But leave the Maestro in charge in Doom's place? That sounds like not a good thing.
No.
So you're really basically sitting there going, do we want the frying pan or the fire? And that's where our heroes
Which
leave off.
truly is the lesser of two evils.
Egos. This is Keith Giffen, Legion of Superheroes level stuff. Alright. That's that's the best description for this. Stuart Moore does the write, Gus Storms does the art, and it's stylized but cool. And yeah, it's like a more sci-fi slant on Legion of Superheroes kind of concept. You have the egos, the Earth Galactic operatives, and you've got the team on Earth and the team in space, and they're dealing with their big mystery. And then you get the Quantum Trust shows up, and it's good. Just read it. Aquaman was good and I can't. This
42?
art, I can't. This art is Aquaman 42. It's written by Cullen Bunn, so that's why I'm even on here. But this art is hard. It's very there's like 3 people doing finishes. Trevor McCarthy does the layouts, and then Trevor McCarthy, Jesus Marino, and Walden Wong do the rest. And Guy Major does colors, and I don't know. There's something about it art-wise seems unfinished. I'm trying. I really am. There is a hunter team sent off after Aquaman, and that really is what was able to pull me through this issue, because there's a guy on this team who looks very much like he could be
Prisoner of War?
no, the original Aqualad. Was it
Oh,
Garth?
Garth?
Yeah. But also, there's a one pose of King Shark, in which they describe King Shark, an eating machine turned barbarian. But he's drawn in the New 52. We've seen King Shark. He was part of the Suicide Squad, and for whatever reason, they turned him into a hammerhead. He's not anymore. But see, there's King Shark. There's a bunch of the other
Back
teams,
to being
including
a
Scylla
great
and
one.
Charybdis. But yeah, he looks like he's supposed to, and that looks a lot like Garth. Ultimately, what I really want is the new Aqualad. The
Calder?
yeah, I want the Black Manta's son, because he was cool,
He was awesome!
and they gave him to us. Why bother introducing a new character right before you do your New 50? I mean, I get that not everybody knew that the New 52 was happening, but Jeff Johns created that character. I'm fairly certain Jeff Johns knew what Jeff Johns was, the decisions Jeff Johns was making behind the scenes. Why introduce a character just in time to reboot the universe and lose that character?
Give him back!
Especially when he was one of the best examples of when, people complain when they take a pre-existing character, replace them with someone of either a different gender or a different ethnicity. But that was one of the cases where it worked really well, didn't seem forced, made sense, and wasn't really replacing anyone because by that point, Garth had gone on to become Tempest and was a whole separate thing. It all worked, and now Ivar the Time Walker. It is so much fun, and it's gorgeous. All right, Francis Patella on art. I believe. Where's your credity page, you silly thing? Yeah. Fred Van Lante, writer, bro. Francis Portella, artist, bro. Andrew Dahlhaus, color, bro. This book is gorgeous. And so much fun to read. You've got the three brothers in here. You've got Ivar the Time Walker, you've got the Eternal Warrior, and you've got
Geomancer?
Armstrong. Yeah. So, just a reunion as they fight this, like, creature made of nanites, and Armstrong discovers the power to jet propel yourself when you're lost in the vacuum of space by facing away from where you want to go and puking so that it moves you. Because as he puts it, in space, no one can hear you hurl. Book of Death, The Fall of Bloodshot. It's good and confusing because I'm watching. I don't know where this takes place within. Is this what happened before the Bloodshot Reborn book that I'm reading now, where he's getting his shit back together, or is he falling afterwards? Either way, it's good. I just don't know if this is a before or after piece. And finally, in trades, Spider-Man the X-Men, the one and only volume. This is a book that a lot of people gave a lot of shit, and I'm here to tell those people, fuck you. Because writer Elliot Kalin, and then you've got art by Marco Fela, R.B. Silva, and with inks by you got Diego Sato and Rob Lean. This book was so much fun and was really so good, and I love that little group of ex-kids that this book was so much fun. Why did anyone give this article? And it makes me sad because then it just ends with, there is only Secret Wars, and I can't help but imagine post Secret Wars with Peter Parker being now a big international success with Parker Industries, that I can't imagine that he finds time in his world to be a guidance counselor at the Jean Grey School. So I'm sad. We need a way to have Spidey in all of these different places. If only the Spider books were tied into something like cloning.
Oh, wait.
Now's the time, Marvel. Make it happen.
Push comes to shove, LMDs.
You could have clone Spider-Man in all the different Spidey outfits. You could have one in the Iron Spider, one in the black suit, one in the red and blue suit,
Scarlet.
One in the Supreme Spider-Man suit. Oh my... I can't take it! I'm just going to leave that image in my head. You guys go about your internet-y business.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.